Hello everyone, Lytro Storm here, and today we've got to do another series finale. This one is What If Bardock Was Sent to the Future? And if you haven't already caught up on the series yet, now is your chance to do so. The link to the playlist is in both the description and the pinned comment. But if you just need a short recap, I will go ahead and provide one now. Basically, Bardock and the crew fought against Beerus, and then Frieza, and Cold. They managed to barely defeat both of them, and went on to fight in Universe 6 tournament. There they would have lost, but Hit dropped out against Monaka due to respect for Bardock and Goku, and after that, Future Trunks returned and the Black Arc played out, but with Goku sealing Zamasu away, and then killing Goku Black. And that now sets us up perfectly for this part. So before we continue, I just want to tell you guys that I recently started up a second channel. This one is going to be for Walking Dead videos, and maybe some other stuff too. I haven't quite decided yet, but it would mean the world to me if you would check it out, as it's very small, and it's a really big moment for me. The link is in the description along with my Discord and Twitter. So now, let's get into the video. So the next type of tournament is decided on by Zeno, but first we have an exhibition match to get to. The team selected for this would be Bardock, Goku, and Raditz. And with this team, they easily blazed through the Trio de Dangers, and now we can move on to the recruitment. So basically, our team is going to be Bardock, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Raditz, Piccolo, Nappa, 17, 18, and Krillin. The reason Bardock doesn't get Roshi and Tenshinhan is just because they're far too weak compared to everyone else. Roshi's skill could be useful, but it's not going to matter if he gets knocked out of the ring instantly. Also, Tenshinhan is the same thing, he's weak, and he really didn't do anything in the Tournament of Power anyway, so yeah. The main three Saiyans are all about the same level as in canon, with Bardock being slightly higher, and of course no Blue Kaioken. Raditz is a good bit weaker than these three, but he's still up there in terms of power. Krillin and 18 are also slightly stronger, since Krillin trained a little bit more in this What If, and Nappa's gotten older, so he's only been able to train casually on Earth. But at least he's stronger than he was before. Since there's no shortage of members, they have a little bit more time to plan. Bardock knows how to run a squad, so, he's already got one thought up. Everyone should stick in groups of 5 so that they can easily outman anyone they come across. It can be him, Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa, and then Gohan, Piccolo, 18, 17, and Krillin. This idea hits home for most members, but Goku, Vegeta, 17, and 18 don't like it. Bardock does get a little angry at this, but decides to just say screw it and let whoever do whatever. He knows the teamwork will come in handy for those who want to use it, and besides, it's not like he isn't planning on having a good 1v1 either. He's had a vision since his fight with Toppo in the exhibition match that someone far stronger is out there. Anyway, they all now head to the tournament, and it finally begins. First thing is that Bardock would eliminate people rather than messing with them. This makes a lot of people like Kato Pezla, Napapa, Roselle, and Murichim get out way quicker. Goku and Vegeta eliminate Universe 9, and Krillin and 18 slap the wolves a lot sooner. This means that when Frost attacks, Krillin has already stopped his cheering and would be on his guard, so Frost is basically forced to retreat by the two of them. Goku would have his first fight against Caulifla, which goes about the same as in canon, with Kale jumping in and Jiren one-shotting her. In terms of the Pride Troopers, I think Bardock would jump in and help to deal with them, and this eliminates Zoe Ray earlier, so that's a plus. Of course, once Kale and Caulifla get involved, Universe 7 dips to let it be their problem, and the two manage to easily beat the Pride Troopers and secure a victory. Piccolo and Gohan would have an easier time against Rubolt and Abani, since Piccolo is a good bit stronger than he was in canon. Goku and Hit beat Dispo and Kunchi, but Dispo manages to escape, and now we've got Nappa versus Universe 4 instead of Roshi. Long story short, he's basically going to beat all of them really easily. And since Raditz is in place of Tenshinhan here, he's going to one-shot Hermila and save everyone from being sniped. And real quick, I just want to pause for a second. I know it seems like I'm really blazing through all this, I'm just getting it done really quickly, but that's because a lot of the fights remain mostly unchanged except like slight details like who's there and maybe someone gets knocked out a little quicker. And most of these characters don't even really matter in the grand scheme of things. So like, you guys understand. I'll stick to focusing on the main fights. Nappa would then be jumped by Frost instead of Roshi, but Vegeta would come in to save him. And, they are old pals, so they're going to need to stick together to win the tournament. So let's just go ahead and skip up to Goku versus Jiren. Except this time, it's not Goku versus Jiren, it's actually Bardock versus Jiren. He's going to deal with this himself, powering up through all of his transformations until he finally can't do anything else. There is no Blue Kaioken or Spirit Bomb, so they're basically screwed in that aspect. That leads to Goku joining in with his father to fight, and so the two attack together. They're in unison, but still they just can't manage to push Jiren much at all. This makes Universe 11's top fighter bored, and so he chooses to just knock Goku aside and blast Bardock with a powerful attack. This puts a crater in the ground, and everyone thinks that Bardock may have died. But luckily, he gets back up and is now using Ultra Instinct Omen. With this new power, he squares off against Jiren the same way Goku did in canon, and this eventually leads to him burning out. But Goku makes sure to knock him out of the blast, and this leads to him taking the brunt of the attack, now putting him into Ultra Instinct Omen as well. I know it sounds a little silly, both back-to-back transformations, but both should be able to unlock the power if the attack is strong enough. Now Omen Goku fights Jiren, but it just ends up being the same result, and after seeing this, Hit steps up to fight and gets close to victory, but is eliminated. The extra Goku fight did give Bardock a little bit of recovery time though, so he's closer to full strength now. He would find Goku and tell them that they need to reawaken that power. It's unlikely that they will be able to together, so they should each find different ways. Goku would go off and have his fight with Kale and Caulifla while Bardock attempts to clash with Dispo. At the same time, Raditz would pull up to Kaba, who had just finished his fight with Mana after unlocking Super Saiyan 2. Raditz, being closer to Kaba's mentor in this timeline, would offer him a deal. They can work together in order to help one of their universes win, and the other one that wins can wish the other back. Kaba agrees to this, and so Raditz would tell Nappa to come guard him. He was drained after all, so he's gonna need a bodyguard. The Saiyan then heads over to Caulifla and his brother and tells them not to fight. Kaba just agreed to an alliance, so if they pick each other off, they wouldn't be doing any good. However, both sides want to be stronger, Caulifla wants to unlock more power, and Goku wants Ultra Instinct. Raditz knew that this wasn't going to work, and so he joined his brother to make sure that they're not on the losing end. Meanwhile, Frost would arrive to try and fight Nappa, asking why Kaba hasn't already dealt with him. Kaba tries to say that he was weakened, but even then he should be running away, not buddying up. Frost then attacks Nappa, and not even Super Saiyan 2 is nearly enough to match him. This angers Kaba, seeing Frost torture someone who was protecting him, and so he transformed and knocked Frost away. He told him to stop, and that they had made an alliance with Universe 7. Frost is intrigued by this idea, but sees that Goku and Caulifla were fighting right now. Fights like that kinda defeat the whole purpose of the alliance, and Kaba says that it's going to be complicated, but if they can manage to get anybody in their team, it will be good. They just have to hope that nobody gets eliminated, which is pretty unlikely, but like I said, if they can get anyone, it's good. Frost reluctantly agrees, as sly tricks like this were his thing. Meanwhile, Goku and Raditz fought against Caulifla and Kale, so when Goku goes God, he easily handles both girls, and Raditz can now take a breather. But once the two fuse, it's time for action. God Goku isn't enough, so Raditz goes blue and tries his best to interfere. Eventually though, Caulifla goes Super Saiyan, and Goku goes blue. Raditz is no longer useful at all, and so he heads back to Kaba to find Frost there as well. Kaba has recuperated by this point, and so now Raditz, Kaba, Frost, and Nappa move on together. Anyway, checking back in with Bardock, he is now currently fighting Dispo. Using Super Saiyan Blue, he's able to push the Pride Trooper to use his light speed mode, which proves to be a tough challenge for the Saiyan. Luckily though, he's able to unlock Ultra Instinct Omen once more during this difficult struggle, easily beating Dispo out of the ring. He then turns his attention to Toppo and rushes him, slapping him with no difficulty. This makes Toppo angry, but before he powers up any further, Bardock runs out of power. Toppo is just about to eliminate the Saiyan when Vegeta steps in to continue their fight. Raditz then shows up to save his father and gets him out of there. Once they return, Bardock is shocked to see Frost and Kaba alongside his son and Nappa, but at this point, they need all the help they can get. By the way, in case you're wondering what the others are doing, Gohan and Piccolo are fighting Soundnell and Purina, and Krillin, 17, and 18 are beating up the Universe 2 characters. Basically, nobody from Universe 7 is eliminated yet, so, our team's kinda stacked. Kaba now sees the opportunity to save Soundnell and Purina and get them in the alliance, so Raditz agrees to head out. He offers his father to leave Nappa on watch for him, but Bardock doesn't want to be babied, and so Raditz, Kaba, Frost, and Nappa leave to break up the fight. However, once Raditz and Kaba begin convincing the two, Frost pulls Nappa aside. He then gut punches him and tosses him out of the ring while smirking. The look on his face showed that he was proud of himself as he walked back to Bardock. The Saiyan was currently focusing on his vision of the true Ultra Instinct, but he stopped to look up at Frost, who was now aiming a death beam right at his forehead.
Hello, this is former President Barack Obama, and I noticed you aren't subscribed to Like for a Storm on YouTube. Maybe if you subscribed not only to Lightro's main channel, but his second channel as well, then maybe your father would have stayed. Shame on you.
Bardock took a breath in and instantly disappeared, having Frost in a full Nelson. Sure, he was drained, but he had been relaxing a little bit and wasn't that much weaker since he had gotten a little used to the power of Ultra Instinct. He lifts up Frost and walks him to the edge of the arena, all while telling him about Frieza. Once he's at the edge, he asks if he wants to know what happened to him, and Bardock replies that once he's erased, he'll know what it feels like. He then tosses him off the edge and walks away. By this point, Goku has already beaten Kefla as well after unlocking Ultra Instinct, so he's just trying to recover. Sal, Nell, and Purina are convinced to join up with our group, as that's their real only hope of winning without Kefla and Hit. So now the group would go through the Universe 4 people that have hacks. Damon eliminates Krillin, but just about everyone else survives. Universe 4 gets erased, and now we're down to Universe 3, 6, 7, and 11. Keep in mind, Universe 7 has 8 members remaining. They've only lost Nappa and Krillin, but with Universe 3's attacks, that will soon change. Kaba by this point is strong, but he's just not on the same level as everyone else, and so one of the robots take him down. For Universe 6, now all they have is the Namekians. But once all the robots are done, Paparoni becomes Anilaza, and another battle begins. This one ends up in Android 18 dropping out as she did in canon, and Raditz nearly following suit. Luckily, he's saved by Salnell and Purina, so I guess the teamwork actually paid off. Bardock and the rest of the gang now team up to take down Anilaza, with 17 charging through and cracking his crystal. This makes everyone else's final blast finally be able to overpower the beast and eliminate Universe 3 for good. Without Dispo, it's Jiren and Toppo versus everyone else. I think Jiren would be where Goku, Bardock, and Vegeta go, while everyone else fights Toppo. Speaking of, he's able to handle them pretty easily, eliminating Piccolo. Now we've got Gohan, 17, Raditz, Salnell, and Purina. They're all basically around the same tier by this point, with Raditz being the weakest, so they're able to survive for now against Toppo. But once he begins using his full power, he eliminates Salnell and Purina. This leads to Universe 6 being erased, and this would infuriate Raditz to no end. This gives him a giant rage boost, and he would now be able to finally land some blows onto Toppo, but in the end, he is next to fall. Afterward, Jiren drops Vegeta off with Toppo, so that fight's gonna end up the same. We've now got Bardock, Goku, Vegeta, 17, and Gohan versus Jiren. Against 5 really strong fighters, he knows he's going to have to get a bit serious, and so I think Gohan would be the next to go. With the Saiyans all beaten down, 17 does his self-destruction, leaving Vegeta to be knocked out next. He gives the last of his ki to Goku, hoping that he can buy Bardock time to replenish his own energy. This manages to work a little bit, and so father and son work together once more, and with another powerful attack from Jiren, the two unlock Ultra Instinct Omen for a third time. Bardock and Goku both attack Jiren, and even though their strength isn't quite as high, their reaction and teamwork is outmatching him. Jiren is pushed to the absolute brink, but manages to fight back still, making Goku and Bardock both achieve true Ultra Instinct. Now they easily beat him down, and Jiren unlocks his hidden power to be somewhat of a match, but even then it's not enough for the two of them. Together they manage to take him right to the edge of the ring, but then Goku falters. He falls to the ground in his base form. Bardock knew that he was next, and so he acted without thinking. He immediately charged Jiren with all he had, tackling him off the ring right as he lost his power. Now 17 reveals himself to still be alive, and since Goku is in no condition to do anything right now, 17 makes the wish to revive all universes. And now that the Tournament of Power is done, it's time to cover the Broly movie. It's just about the same as all my other what-ifs. Without Frieza, Barry Blue would be in charge, and so once Broly fights everyone, Paragus will survive. They'd then be forced back onto their planet along with Chilai and Lemo. But anyway, that ends What If Bardock was sent to the future. This series has been absolutely insane, and this part was especially crazy. I really hope you guys liked it though, and subscribe to see more videos like it. Let me know your thoughts on the video and the series overall, and look forward to seeing some more old What Ifs be continued. But as always, tell me if you liked this part, comment your requests for future videos, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.